welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Caro Herrera, and today I'm going to be reviewing a historical fiction novel called The Land Beyond the Sea. It was written by Sharon Kay Penman, my third favorite author ever, and it was published in March of this year. Before I begin though, let me just say that this will be a spoiler-free video, although since it's based on historical facts, it's not that hard to find out what happens at the end. Okay, so Sharon Kay Penman became my third favorite author ever a few years ago, back when I first read The Sun in Splendor, her novel on Richard III, and then in 2019 I devoured all of her by then published works. I reread Sun, I fell in love with her Welsh Princess trilogy, I was fascinated by her Plantagenets series, and I enjoyed very much her Dustin the Quincy medieval mystery novels. So yes, I'm just obsessed with her stories and the way she breathes life back into events that happened long ago through her words. So when I learned that she would be releasing a new book in 2020, I was really looking forward to it. But not only because she had written it, and because it can sort of be considered a prequel to her other story, Lionheart, based on Richard the Lionheart's participation in the Third Crusade, but because I was also familiarized with the plot and wanted to learn more about that specific time in history. And why was I familiarized with the plot, you may ask? Well, because since I was growing up, I've always loved period dramas. Back in my early teens, I saw the movie called Kingdom Heaven, and I really enjoyed it. Of course, that over the years I've learned that it's not really historically accurate, and while the time period it represents isn't among my favorite periods or anything, I still thought it was too good to be true that thanks to The Land Beyond the Sea, I was going to learn more about it through the pen of Sharon Kay Penman. The novel starts around 1172, and it covers a period of almost 20 years of the history of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, also known as Outremer or the Land Beyond the Sea. It deals with events that take place before, during, and after young King Baldwin's reign. Baldwin is known in history as a leper king, so we also learn a lot of things about leprosy, and there are many heart-wrenching passages regarding Baldwin trying to continue to live his life despite this disease. But we also meet other memorable characters like Saladin and Balian the Evelyn. In Kingdom of Heaven, Balian, played by Orlando Bloom, is a French blacksmith and a bastard, but in real life he was born in Outremer and was a nobleman. So yeah, this book has it all. Politics, royalty, battles, sieges, romance, all set amidst an exotic setting. Okay, so I gave The Land Beyond the Sea a 5 out of 5 stars review, and I really recommend it because it promises what it delivers. I learned tons about a historical period that turned out to be almost as fascinating as the Plantagenets back in England. And once again, as a journalist, I take off my hat to Sharon Kay Penman for her level of research, because she always puts a lot of effort into delivering the best historical fiction novel that she can. The Land Beyond the Sea is not my favorite work by her. That would have to be Here Be Dragons, followed by The Sun in Splendor. But it's still a really beautiful novel, and there's nothing I can think to criticize. I mean, I was gonna say that I wish it was even longer, so that I knew what happens to Outremer after the book ends, but then I remember that Sharon had also written Lionheart, that's a sort of prequel to it, so I can't complain, can I? So instead I'll tell you some of the highlights for me of this book, and those would definitely be learning more about Balian and Baldwin, because they were just such great men and they deserve to be remembered, even after all these centuries. Not only because of the lives they've lived, but because of the ways they managed to save the Kingdom of Jerusalem over and over again in more ways than one. I'd also like to mention though about Kingdom of Heaven that after I finished the novel I rewatched the movie, and it was interesting to see just how inaccurately it is regarding historical accuracy. But in the end it's just like Sharon Kay Penman said, it's like Braveheart, you just have to enjoy it for being a good entertainment method. Still, I'd like to point out though that this time that I rewatched Kingdom of Heaven, I actually saw it here on YouTube because they have the actual director's cut. And oh boy, it's still not historically accurate, but it's a completely different movie from what I've first seen in the cinema. It's way better than the theatrical release version. But yeah, to wrap up my review, I'd just like to point out that Sharon Kay Penman always states in her author's notes that her books are historical fiction. They're also not 100% accurate. And she points out where she takes certain creative liberties. But seriously, she just delivers history in such a way that you really wish that that's exactly how it would have happened. But yeah, for the moment though, I believe that this is all I have to say about The Land Beyond the Sea. Thank you so much for watching my review of it. Please let me know if you enjoyed it or not. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you did. I'd love to hear what are your own thoughts on this novel, on the author, on her other works, and on Kingdom of Heaven as well. In the description box below you can find a link to the novel's Goodreads page. And well, I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye!